This podcast was produced on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation.
Welcome to Australia.
Aussie.
This is kind of tragic.
Someone who is such a connoisseur of reality television.
The content is hideous.
So sorry about this. Oh my God.
Welcome back to The Cringe is Real, the podcast that cringes along with Australian reality TV and pop culture at large. I'm Sam Cremian, and today I'm back to round off season 1 of Netflix Japan's highly talked about show, The Boyfriend. This time with my Sydney boyfriend, Dan Morrison. You can watch all of season 1 of The Boyfriend now on Netflix globally, as well as a special reunion episode, which is only on YouTube. Dan Morrison, welcome back to The Cringe is Real, babe.
Thank you for having me, Sam. Lovely to be back.
So good to see you.
You too. Looking stunning.
Now, before we talk about The Boyfriend, I need to know, how are you feeling about Aussie athlete Ray Gunn? Are you pro Ray Gunn? Are you anti Ray Gunn? Do you think she deserves the haters, the trolls, as they're calling it at Olympics HQ?
Look, it's funny. So people are going to make memes about it because it's ridiculous. And I think that's fine. I saw the video today of the coach coming in to defend her, and that was somehow made it worse. I was like, oh, no. You are digging a grave.
So much worse.
And then I didn't realise, because I hadn't gone this deep into it, I didn't realise she got 0 points as well. But then the coach said that during the press conference, going, and although she didn't receive any points, we shouldn't be cut. And I was like, oh, no, stop. Please don't draw attention to it.
I didn't know she didn't get any points.
A full 0. So that's why I'm like, oh, now you're just drawing attention to how bad it is. I'm like, okay.
Oh, you're changing my mind about this in real time, because I was feeling kind of sorry for her after the the coach presser, but now I'm like, oh, I mean, if you objectively just kind of fucked it up.
Yeah. But when I saw it, because I hadn't I'm not an Olympics girly, so I'm not watching anything. But when I saw there was breakdancing first of all in the Olympics, I was like, what's happening here? That was a shock to me. But then because I hadn't seen any other version of it, when I saw her dance, I'm like, is this what it all looks like? Are they meant to look like this? And then, upon further research, no, it's meant to look like breakdancing. And whatever she did wasn't.
It's meant to look quite good, actually. Yeah, I watched a few other clips, because there's all these memes where it's intercut with the good ones, and you're like, oh, okay, now I understand. Because at first I was like, hang on, why are we all going contemporary dance?
Kath Day Night.
She's just giving it a go. Get the Kath Day Night, the Mr. G memes. I'm loving that. But you know what, Ray Gunn, I feel like it's getting to that Stephen Bradbury level of she'll be idolized in Australia, because we do love someone that's a bit shit. It's very underdog. It's very tall poppy of us. I reckon she'll come out okay.
She'll be fine. She'll have a Uber Eats brand deal or something, and she'll be rocking up to someone's door doing the hop or something with a delivery, and she'll be getting paid. She'll be right.
100%.
Best of luck.
It'll be her and Gina Riley or something, and it'll be
perfect. Exactly.
They'll figure it out. So, The Boyfriend. You've been caught up in the hysteria.
Love. Because I'm a bit of a Terrace House girly on Netflix, although I'm so happy this was only 10 episodes, because Terrace House really does my head in with 40 something a season. So this was kind of lovely length for me.
Yeah. And the completionist in me is I have to get through it, even though there's full episodes about someone making a cup of tea, and you're just why am I still watching
and
this?
That's what I loved about this, because it was absolute low stake drama. I know you've already spoken about the first half of the season, but the fact it was fights over how much people were paying for chicken, phenomenal. The drama I need.
That also, the more I think about that, I'm they've really exposed a hole in the production of this show with that. I'm so just fucking give them food. Why? It's very early Big Brother. Remember when they had to do the shopping budget?
It's great.
And then they kind of just did away with it now because it's like they realize that no one wants to watch people do a shopping list.
Apparently I do, though.
This took me right back to that. Yeah. Well, in Big Brother UK, there was always some really good shopping list drama because they made them do it in like 5 minutes on a chalkboard, and it was really like stressful. But I feel like in the Australian one, it was very luxurious. They got to like,
there was nothing. I don't remember any memorable shopping list fights from the Australian one. But I know the last like UK season, there was always drama around people getting shit. I was like, great, love.
Yeah, but is Netflix Japan like on a shoestring or something? Like, why are they involving the cast members in minutia of the budget?
They're literally sending them out to work to earn their own money to pay for things. So they're actually like putting them on the job, which is great. It'd be amazing if they're taking a cut.
And then when that was Alan's big idea. Yeah, Alan's big idea. Oh, maybe we take some money from all that free work that we're doing at the coffee cart. I'm like,
I thought that was guaranteed. Was it going straight to Netflix or something?
I was like, exactly. It's. I do want to read the contracts that were signed. So, as a reminder, we're gonna pick up at episode 6, where I left off my last episode with Paul Mitzi, and Yusak had just made the heartbreaking decision to give up his spot in the green room and go home to, no doubt, consume more chicken smoothies. How did you feel about his tearful goodbye?
R.I.P. Yusak, but it was I couldn't see him getting like anything out of the show, just like being there. He seemed a bit not miserable, but like not much was going on. And I felt like that for a few of them, where like any of them that didn't have the romantic prospect, like working out. I'm like, oh God, like it must be hell staying in there. Except for my beautiful Taihon. Like he, like, even though he had no romance the entire time, so happy he was there. But someone like Yusak, I was like, you're getting nothing out of this, so I wish you well.
Agreed. Yeah, he really kind of cracked it. Yeah. Oh, can we talk about Taehyun though? Because so much stuff has come out after the show now, and particularly like in the reunion and everything, he's kind of like there, and he's opened up a little bit more about not really feeling like he was a part of the group. And I felt that throughout the season, and I think that's why the audience connects with him, because it's like he's so gorgeous and lovely, and I feel like they didn't give him a chance. Was that
and I like no one was choosing him to go like work in the coffee cart or whatever. Like even the ones that didn't have a romantic.
Are you blind?
I was like losing my mind the entire time. Like, how is this man a blind spot to all of you? He's beautiful. Like and then also as well, he was like so kind during the whole thing. Like we'll talk about it soon, but he gave like great advice like in some of the episodes, and he was like a really caring person. Like how is no one not seeing what I'm seeing right now? Like mental.
Very measured. And he opens up in the reunion a little bit about, like Japanese isn't his first language, but he like fucking, was still able to build connections. Like he lives in Japan. So I was kind of like, it felt a bit weird for me. I wasn't enjoying that. And it's so hard to know how these people really feel about anything, because it's very, they've got their like face they present to the world. And then every now and then we'll get like a tiny crack in through some little slip up, but they're all trying so hard to appear to be so, lovely, which kind of makes this show great because you're just waiting for them to slip.
Oh yeah. And there's a few cracks like when they actually snap, I'm just like, even though it's like the minor of things in the scheme of everything that's gone on, I'm just like, oh, whoa, like they're like, we'll talk about it. But when Dai goes off at Ikuo at that like stage where he like butts in and he like snaps at him, I'm like, oh shit, like he's actually angry. Like you just like catches you off guard when they actually show like proper emotion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the first half of the season there was a lot of building tension, and then this second half, a lot of it actually either resolves itself or people just like leave because they're like, I've accomplished my goal. Which I'm like, okay,
sure.
Is that how this works?
Yeah, it's like it's like these unwritten goals that we haven't seen, and then it's like I've like completed my mission. Farewell. Like,
Yeah. Very that. So Yusak's left us. Gensei puts up his hand to work with Ryota, and that's very cute. They've kind of got this little something, which was quite confusing because there was clearly misunderstood feelings early on, and then bloody Ryota just like still barking up the Kazuto tree with everyone else, even though Kazuto was quite clearly not interested.
Yeah, like
How did you feel about Ryota?
I have such an issue with. He's like, I always called him like the king of like misreading social cues. Like he just could not understand that Kazuto was not into him, but just like, and then in the later episodes where he's like trying, like the finale where he's like trying to get him to come with him and leave, I'm like, that's not what's going on here.
It's like one last chance.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what did...
I was like this. I was fully watching through my hands. I was like, someone needs to put this poor boy out of his misery.
It was so much of his like interactions were so...
What does he need to hear?
It's just like, it's so hard to see it. I'm just like, oh God, like someone please, like just, he should have had his like leaving mission thing, I think earlier, because it was actually quite painful to watch him all the way through to the end, because
he should have left. Yeah.
God. And
I do fear for the safety of those around him. I feel like at any minute he could just fully snap and just go on like a killing spree.
He had that under the eyes. I had the same uneasiness watching him. I'm like, this can go pear-shaped real quick.
At any moment. Oh my God. So this is when the necklace is bought. So Gensei purchases a little gift for Ryota, a little necklace, and the panel are like, oh! Hideous little thing, but look,
ugliest effing necklace I've ever seen. Like it was just foul.
And finally, so first 5 episodes, we've got Durian there. You've got a drag queen on your panel, but not in drag, which was very frustrating. But finally, from episode 6, she's
serving Luke's.
I don't know. The production team were like, "Yeah, you can wear Luke's," and she was like, "Fuck yeah!" So that was good. She finally wears the Luke's. Fuck, they would have been lost without her.
She was great.
I think just a bunch of straight people watching.
Yeah, and it was kind of like an insight because they really sounded straight sometimes. Like when they were talking about things, it was nice to actually have someone in there kind of like flavoring it a bit and insider perspective.
Back at the ranch, Shun continues to be an emotional terrorist to Dai. This is just constant throughout the show. He's so hot and cold. The luring of Dai in for like affection and then immediately pushing him away. Like I could not handle that even one time.
I don't play games. That is just, that would do my head in. Like as soon as the knock of the hand, I'd be knocking it right back and be like, you can fuck off, get off the couch.
I'd go, you can get fucked. Mate, it's the boyfriend AU.
Oh, the boyfriend AU
starting next week. The boyfriend AU, they'd be like, "What the fuck? I'm not working in a van. Get fucked. I'm sitting by the pool, mate." Yeah, I would be out of there. The panel are like cringing along with this. Taehyun chooses Kazuto with Alan's hesitant blessing for a shift. What were your thoughts on Alan?
Alan, I like. He felt very like more like Western culture dropped into like the Japanese life. So that's why I think they found him a bit, abrasive at the beginning and a bit too like very like touchy-feely compared to the rest of them on there. Like, when they all met each other, they're all bowing, and then he came in like hugging he was like hugging everyone and stuff. So I liked his energy. I don't know. I kind of thought the him and Kazuto thing went on too long. Like I was like, oh, this isn't, like I could kind of sense it's not going to work out. And then it kind of kept happening. And I was like, oh, I don't see this going anywhere. So it kind of shocked me.
At the reunion, when fucking Kazuto was sitting there at the reunion just feeding us that absolute bullshit about like, I really love this person as a friend, I was just like, oh, stop.
I don't even think you do. Like, I don't think you'd even like him as a friend.
I don't even think you do. Yeah. It's so funny how I went from being completely obsessed with Kazuto from the first few episodes to just fully despising him by the end. And I think it's the way he handled all the attention. It really pissed me off. Like, sure, you've got people after you, but he took it on like, poor him. He has to like deal with breaking all these hearts kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like the weight of the world on him just because he was getting like affection from people on essentially a dating show. So like, shock horror, yeah, people are going to come after you. I do think he was actually, I would say, the king of letting people down easy. Like the way he worded all the kind of like, I'm not into you. He did it in a delicate.
Well, you'd think it would be enough.
Well, apparently not enough for Ryota.
Apparently it wasn't enough.
Because he could not. I was going to say not read between the lines. He couldn't hear the words that were being said to him. So that was painful.
Yeah. So Ryota is pissed off that Taehon and Kazuto are doing a shift. And again, I'm just like, dude, you're late to the party. You're not even involved in the party. Like the way he like gets so crushed every time anyone makes a move on Kazuto, it's just like very difficult
to watch. He looks defeated every time. Like anytime he sees someone giving Kazuto affection, he's just like a little. What's the like the Simpsons bit where like Wiggum's son's like heart breaks and you can like see the moment and they do like the slow down it's like every time it's like something's breaking off him like every time someone's out with Kazuto. So
then we get a new member in the green room. It's Ikuo. So he joins us. They get him as like they pretend like he's a customer at the truck first. And then he's like, haha, I'm joining. And he's 22 and works at a burger shop and has a very lovely smile.
He does.
But he doesn't really, like he makes some waves in the show, but I would still say we didn't really get to know him very well.
He had like, at least it was like a different energy, like similar to when Alan came in and kind of like, felt a bit like a rush. Yeah, like a rush from that.
Intruder.
Yeah. But like he kind of had that as well. And I like that it at least was something to kind of challenge Dai and Shun a bit, because then that kind of like, pushes them back together in a way. But yeah, I agree with you. I couldn't tell you anything about him at the end of the show.
No, because his whole storyline was just being a disruptor for Dai and Shun. And then like that, that's it, really. Him kind of putting his foot in it. And they start, it's so awkward, this fucking picnic. So they like, hey guys, you get the afternoon off. We're going to the beach and we're having a picnic. This picnic scene was like watching children at recess in the schoolyard.
Yeah, and it's like they'd never like played with a piece of equipment before. Like it was just like they'll learning how to do things. It was like I found it quite funny. Like I was like, oh, this is kind of cute to get them out of the house. But yeah, they looked misplaced.
And they're just running around. Like Ikuo is clearly like a fun time and just wanted to like have a little frolic. There's like that happening, and then just Shun just silently sulking and freaking out. I love it. And the episode kind of ends with Shun being like, I'm not even jealous. He like walks off with some of the girls and they're like, oh, look at him over there just running around with the new guy. Oh, but I don't even care. I'm not even remotely jealous.
Even though like Shun infuriates me, like for the most part, I did love him just like dramatically sitting in places throughout the series. Like he always just had like a very interesting like sad look about him, like
fetal position,
and just like the park scene, he's like in the all black with the black glasses just like staring off into the distance, and there's like other episodes where he's like wrapped in a blanket like on the couch looking like a refugee or something. Like he's just like,
oh, he's iconic. Episode 7 begins with Ikuo cooking for the boys, and Alan's like, did everyone have fun at the picnic? To which everyone is like, yeah, and then it just kind of cuts to Shun like twitching, and then there's a very awkward silence. Not everyone had a fun time at the picnic. Dai goes to talk to Shun about it. And of course, we get Shun, classic stroppy mood, kind of doesn't want a bar of it. And this is, I'm screaming at the TV being like, Dai, like, you don't want him. Like,
no. And also as well, like, I know Dai's not into Ikuo, but like, you'd think with that new energy coming in, they kind of got along. You'd give it a go, just because like you've got this like sad sack sitting there that's like not giving you anything. Like, at least just do something like new. And also the thing that infuriates me about Dai, he sounded like, when they were talking about him before the show and when like Alan was speaking about him, he seems like this guy that is kind of like outgoing, not like gets around, but he seems like to be a very like a social butterfly and stuff. But it seems like he's almost shrunken in the show because of Shun, and I just like don't like when that see that happen in like relationships with people, where they'll just be like, I'm gonna be this like boring ass version of myself just to like fit into this like depressed person's version of who I should be. And it's like, nah. So
absolutely. And I honestly thought that they had a chance, Dai and Ikuo. Like, I was like, oh, this is a proper contender, but I feel like they would have had a difficult time telling us that story, because everyone loves a like, will they, won't they romance. So I think they got what they wanted in terms of putting on a really good piece of TV. But the fact that they are still together, the shit they are doing now, like, are you seeing all their fucking photo shoots and
are
stuff?
they on? Because like, when I was looking them up, this might have been before the reunion, so maybe they're a bit more like public now since the reunion, but all of their accounts,
are they ever? They've got deals.
But like everyone's account, they're on their own. Like, it's like every photo, they're not with anyone. They don't seem to be like, it's just like stunning photos of them, but no one's with anyone. I'm like, I couldn't like tell, but maybe that was like, maybe they're all like public now, or whatever, or they're unarchived stuff or whatever. But like, it just looked very solo. So I had no idea they were still together until that reunion. I was like, that shocked me.
Yeah, I know. Well, because the only reason I watched the reunion is because I'm like, I want to know that they've broken up, so that I can go,
that was right.
And then when they didn't, I was like, fuck. But I am living for like, on Reddit, of course, everyone is like sleuthing what they're all doing now. And it's like, they can't even post like a picture on Instagram without someone screen capping it and going, oh my God, Kazuto and Yusak were both at the same place at the same time. Maybe they're together, which I was kind of like, I reckon that checks out though, those two. I reckon they've at least
yes. Yes, you'd hope. I hope
sure. They've probably all fucked since
Sam, I
show.
hope to God someone's fucking, because there was nothing to be seen on that show. Like, there's something called The Boyfriend. I was like, Jesus Christ. Lack thereof.
The juiciest thing was some nudes on a phone. Which almost
the
ended
horniest
a
thing that
relationship.
happened was like Yusak's entrance in like the end of the first episode. That was like where they're all on like heat watching him.
That was horny.
But that was the sexiest the show got. And then there was like, really, it was like Pride and Prejudice afterwards.
The bath scene and the massage.
Oh yeah, true.
Sorry. But that didn't really. That was a bit of a like boner killer for poor
There was
Alan,
a lot of
not getting any.
There was a lot of boner killer energy throughout the show, but I was still heavily invested, so I don't know what that says about me, but I was still very much into it.
Oh, I don't know how they did it. I was like, on every word, I was hooked. The girlies get another day off to do go-karts this time, and this was very boring, but we see them all race. There's a cute moment. This is I love how cute is Gensei. Like, what a gorgeous.
And I love him so much, and I'm just so sad he was interested in Ryota this whole time. I was like, you can do so much better, and I'm so happy. I'm actually so happy he did leave in the end.
Much
I'm
better.
like, you're not going to get nothing from this guy. I wish somehow he made Ryota leave, and so he could just stay for the dinner at the end and then enjoy himself.
I know. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen him in the final look. He could have done everyone's makeup. Oh, anyway, but we get these cute shots of Gensei being terrible on the go-karts. And then I was so confused about the stakes in this go-kart race. So it was like, whoever wins gets to fulfill their wish.
Which was Nothing.
Which means what? And then, of course, Shun fucking wins. And his wish is, and we're all waiting to hear what the wish is with bated breath. And he's like, can't be fucked, nothing. Don't look at me.
It was kind of a gag. Like I was like, oh, actually, this is quite funny. Like even though I can't stand him, but I was like, oh, that's actually quite good. And I imagine the producers and everyone standing behind the camera were like, oh fuck, like they would have been so disappointed. Like we put on this whole day, we're not getting a date out of this.
It was like Ben de la Creme picking her own lipstick.
I'm going home.
It was so like, I'm going home. I'm like, all right, Shun, cool. There's a lot of that, like where they're given, like when they're given the opportunity to work with two other people, and then they all are just like, nah. It's like,
yeah, it's like this.
Guys,
I know, like it should really just be like they're told something. I feel like giving them any choice is really like backfired all the time. Like it should be like you have to choose two people to go with you, not like you have the choice of two people.
Yes, just because they won't do it. They won't go on dates with anyone. Anyway. Ikuo says he wants to have a private chat with someone, and we're like, who is it going to be? And it's Kazuto. And at this point, I'm like, he needs a fucking deli number, like take a number situation, because he's got a line of boys waiting to have one-on-one chats to reveal their feelings.
I know, it started like this. I kind of rolled my eyes at this point because I'm like, it just felt like it was becoming like The Bachelor, and like Kazuto was the main guy. You know what I mean? Just I was like, and I feel like, oh, did they see something in the house we're not seeing? Like he's cute, but like, and he can cook, but outside of that, again, know nothing about him.
Do you know what I think it might have been? Like he was very cute. And yes, the cooking. But I think it's because he was not there very much. Like he was always off at work. So I reckon they were like, oh my God, when he comes back, I can't wait to tell him that I love him. Do you know what I mean?
He's so mysterious because like I literally don't see him. Yeah.
So mysterious. Exactly. He just flew. He just like, he was such a like negligent part of the cast. But anyway. Kazuto is over it at this point. Like his face is like, oh my God, do I really have to like turn another person down in a very polite way again? And Ikuo is a little bit delusional, thinking that it's going to go somewhere. But also I'm like, hey, I admired Ikuo's like balls.
He was brazen,
you know?
Yeah.
He came in guns blazing. He's like, I'm going to go for all the guys that are taken. Perfect intruder.
Yeah, it's like I appreciate his energy, but again, I don't know, was it this conversation or maybe the next one? But he says like, I like am going. It's something to the effect of like, I'm going to fall in love with you, or I'm going to start to, or something. And I just remember it going the way he worded it. I was just like, too much, far too much. Like it's just it. It's weird because like they don't seem to be like interested in each other. Like this is for all of them. Like they don't seem interested. And then it goes from like 0 to 100 like so quickly. And I don't understand how there's no like, you're not properly dating anyone, but somehow you've got like all these feelings. I'm like, oh no. This is like too much. And I would be like dying inside if I was like Kazuto, like hearing this shit from people. I'd be like, oh God, no, please stop.
Also at this point, I didn't know yet that Dai wasn't actually keen on Ikuo. So I kind of felt bad for Dai as well. I'm like, finally he's got an out from the Shun prison. And then this guy's not even into it. So I was so confused. Like, yeah, they're very good at keeping their crushes hidden. So then it's the double pick. So Ikuo gets to choose shift buddies. And then he just picks Kazuto. And again, I'm like, they clearly wanted you to pick Dai as well, but sure, don't give us that. It's a bit awkward. Then we get more Dai and Shun BS. It's getting more and more painful. I can't even remember what it was about this time. Neither can they, probably. Then the guys ask Alan what's going on with you and Kaz. And he's like, look, it was a good answer. He was just like, look, I'm just kind of being me. I'm just going to do that and we'll see what happens. Which I was like, good on you, Alan, because I think he deep down knew, I think, that Kazuto wasn't that into it. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think he's the one that's most, I think, in tune with other people's emotions, and he could actually read the room, which a lot of them couldn't. So, yeah.
Bit of emotional intelligence. Exactly. Yeah. After the shift, Kazuto writes Ikuo a cute letter saying, you know, would love to do it again sometime. And Kazuto is being pretty flirty back at this point, which I was shocked by. And again, I'm like, I do feel that sometimes Kazuto did play to the cameras with his cheeky little smirk. Yeah. And sometimes he allowed himself to enjoy all the flirtatious energy. Then we get the panel telling us that they think Dai has changed himself too much for Shun. And I'm like, yes, exactly what's happening. He's totally, like you were saying before, like he's like dulled his fun personality. Like the aquarium visit with the otters.
I know. I love that.
And Shun being like...
hates him for what? Enjoying life. Like...
Yeah. How dare you get enjoyment from patting an otter's hand? I'm like, wow, you really are
a killjoy.
Bitch. Killjoy, exactly. Next shift is Kazuto's turn. I'm like, okay, producers, I see you. And they try again with the 3-person shift. And he does actually choose 2 people. He picks Alan and Gensei, which I'm like, okay, he's just fucking with everyone at this point. But that's like, that's a fun crew. I think these 3 are like the girls. Like I would want to hang with these 3. Like I think Alan and Gensei are probably my favorite people in terms of like if I was going to go for a night out.
Yeah, like they're actually fun.
Ikuo's gutted that he's not picked, and I'm like, mate, like you just did a shift together.
Yeah,
like chill out, and you just got here, so relax, girl. Meanwhile, on planet Ryota, he's still thinking he has a chance with Kazuto. And it did start to feel a bit unethical because they're filming these confessionals and they're just letting him go off. And he's telling us the story of how he's going to have babies and, you know, move in with Kazuto after the show. And I'm like, someone needs to help this.
I know, like even if like the producers can't say it to him, they should speak to someone else, like Taihon, like maybe someone he'll listen to. I don't know, whoever that is, but like they'll go speak to him and tell him to stop barking up this tree. Like just like because it's not going to turn out well, and it doesn't.
Yeah, in the first half of the show, I was more worried for Shun's mental health, but now feel like it's more Ryota that we need eyes on. And this is when he sends the text, like it's so desperate. He sends a text being like, have a good shift, babe, or whatever. We haven't even got to where that escalates to, which is the lunchbox. The lunch was the final straw
unhinged.
for me. I was like
it seems caring, but it's deeply dark. Like
it's so twisted. It's like I was waiting for there to be a razor blade inside the sandwich, just like, and then cut to Ryota just back at the green room being like, no. Like it felt very that. Oh God. After the shift, Kazuto tells Alan that he picked him because they hadn't actually worked together before. And I'm like, why are you telling him this? Like, you don't need you've been on an overnight date with each other. You've like,
you don't need an excuse.
Exactly. But then I was like, oh, he's laying the groundwork.
Yeah. To say like, I'm not interested in
friend zone the fuck out of Alan. Yeah. And I think inviting Gensei as well to the shift was like a buffer.
Exactly.
Like
a mediator.
It's just the girls having a fun time. Yeah, totally. We're all just friends, right? Nothing more. So he's really distancing himself from Alan, which we don't love to see. But also, whatever, Alan's probably knee deep in hole right now after being on this show.
Absolutely. And good on him. Deserved.
I hope so. I hope he's, having little onsen dates that don't end with blue balls.
I hope he's having three-way dates that are much more interesting than his shifts on the show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, then we get some shots of Dai with his crazy rig when they're doing like a skincare thing. This is like face mask time. Like, fuck, Dai's body is
him
wild.
And Tai-hon are just like so fit. It's insane.
And this is when Dai and Shun are being cute and they're like cuddling before bed. And I'm just like, what are you doing? What is this? Like 5 minutes ago, he was like not even talking to you or looking you in the eye. Now he wants cuddles before bed. I'm like, whoa. And they replay the hug like 6 times because it's the most exciting thing that's happened all episode.
I love when they do the cuts to like the replay and it's like a slow motion version of what's just happened. Like that was a lovely editing technique that they threw in there.
Speaking of lovely editing, then we get some of my favorite flash forwards. So Dai is up next to pick someone for a shift, and he can pick 2 people, as is the new rules. And Shun is just like, and then they do the thing where they're like, who wants to be picked? And this is when Shun's like,
disassociating.
Like a teenage boy. He's like, I'm not in the room, doesn't put his hand up. So Dai's like, well, fuck you then. And then we get some flash forwards to like, because Dai picks Ikuo and only Ikuo, even though he's got the 2 spots. And then we get all these flash forwards. Like, it's like he's from making that decision, like all of the fallout that's going to happen. And I really like that editing technique.
It's good. And it's good to see on like a reality show as well. Like it's like very like dramatic for what we know as a reality show. So I respect them for that.
Yeah. It's like nicer than a next week on blah, blah, blah. Cause it's like, it's just micro bits like, ooh, I wonder. And then the credits roll and you're like, oh, what's going to happen? Episode 8 begins with Dai and Ikuo on their shift. And Dai tells him where his head's at with Shun, which is confused. And I'm like, yep. And then back at the green room, Shun is spiraling into a passive-aggressive tantrum, which is great. Ikuo tells Dai to ask Shun straight up how he feels, which I think is good advice, but also like, I don't know if that's going to work out well.
Yeah, like you don't realize it at the time, but obviously now knowing that he tells him later on that he was like interested in him, like you can tell he's kind of poking a little bit to be like, oh, I hope like you do ask him and it causes a fight and you guys are like fucked, and then then I can come in at that point.
Totally. Well, no, at this point I'm like, oh, Ikuo is like a producer plant. Like, because he's not actually into anyone. He's just causing shit. He's literally just doing all of the things that's going to piss off everyone in the house for no reason. And I'm like, why you do this? Shun tries to explain himself to Dai, but it's all very coded and strange. And I feel like there is a thesis in this. Like a psychologist needs to explore Shun, put him in a lab, because I feel like we could learn a lot.
Yeah, his story is fascinating. Like when, like in the earlier episodes where he said about how he was essentially like an orphan till he was like 18. So he's really only had like 5 years of life as an individual. So yeah, that would mess up a person. So there's always that to remember, which I honestly forget all the time when I was like screaming at the TV being like, you're so fucking annoying. But then I would go, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense.
I'm glad they gave us that context, because you're right. It did stop you from just hating him, and you were a little bit more like empathetic. But at the same time, you were like, fuck, like it just made you feel, I don't know, voyeuristic in this way where it was like, should this person be on TV? Yeah. And I really hope you know, they've got a good EAP at Netflix Japan, because I think girlfriend needs to check in for some
a few of them
health work. Just a few. Yes. Taehyun goes to chat with Shun, and this is where you just love Taehyun so much, because, well, firstly, you're like, hey girl, where have you been the last few episodes? Not on the show. And Taehyun does give Shun a little bit of tough love. It's still very like nice, but it's compared to what the rest of the guys have been giving him, it does feel like tough love. And he's like, you really should apologize to Dai for acting like a complete brat, which he does, but he does it in the most manipulative way. But Dai's happy, so I'm like, okay, Dai's got his little signature smiles on, which is good to see, because we hadn't seen it for a while. Then the panel are loving Taehyun at this point. They're like, solid advice. What a legend. Alan asks everyone about their relationships with their parents. And we have a really nice scene here about coming out in Japan and how difficult that is. Taehyun tells us that he's not out. So he's kind of like, and it's one of those things. It's like, okay, so you're on this show, we're filming it. Like, obviously, you know that you have to come out either yourself or they're just going to find out from watching the show. Yeah. So he's got this impending like thing that he has to do. What did you think about Taehyun opening up about this?
It was interesting, because like you would have thought all of them coming on this show, they would have been like, you know, like out to their family, but obviously he's done this as like to basically start like a ticking clock to force him to come out to his parents. So, and I like that we obviously heard in the reunion as well that he's managed to speak to both of them now, which is cute, and it's like supporting him in that. So
I was very glad we got that circle back on that, because
because I was a bit scared, because
news would be bad
because
news.
he is like, he's in his 30s, isn't he? So he's like older of the like older member of the house, I would say. So it is strange, and my worry was, because he hasn't done it this far into life, that maybe there was going to be some kind of backlash, or not, it wasn't going to be taken so well from his parents. So I'm happy to hear that it didn't go sideways. So
Ryota tells us that he used the show to come out to his parents just before filming. So I feel like a lot of them use this show as a reason to do so. And so I'm kind of like, well, that's cool. But like, unfortunately, not everyone in Japan can go on a reality show in order to find a reason to come out to their parents. So if we could just start improving that would be great. Yes. But they give encouragement and good advice to Taehyun. They're like, nothing to worry about. Like, all the ones that have done it, they're like, yes, it was hard, but parents were cool. If anything, they're more going to be worried about you and and if you're happy, and if you're, you know, going to experience hardship now being out, which I'm a bit like, wow, it's really the conversation that we were having quite some time ago.
Yeah, but it was not like it's such a different for us in Australia, like as in it's much easier conversations to have, where I think in Japan it's one of those like people can respect it if it's behind closed doors. And I think that's actually, and I think just even generally for PDA over there as well, like that's all something, it's like that all happens behind closed doors. So I think it's nice that they at least have this platform to kind of have those open conversations and stuff that they usually wouldn't have in any scenario. So I like these little like cute moments where they could actually talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely reflected on my privilege during this scene, because it was like, wow, I know what that anxiety feels like, and it's horrible, but you know, I was lucky enough to do that when I was a teenager, and it, you know, I was very safe and all of that. But to be like in your 30s, and that means he's been worrying about this his whole life. It really did make me feel grateful for the community I have around me. And I really hope that this show helps to change things.
And I hope this show helps
Japan.
him to also get laid, because that poor man is too hot to be is too hot to be single. So I hope he's getting all the attention he deserves post show.
I'll help him out. Yeah, exactly. Taehan, come down to Melbourne. We'll go for a night out. I'll take you to the sauna. It'll be great. All right. So yeah, it was sweet, if not a little bit of a wake up call, I think, for their society. And then Durian educates the panel about sexuality and identity, and how it's not just about sex, but it is more about who you are as a person and all of that, which I thought was good. And yeah, again, it was like, seeing conversations that I've had so long ago and that I don't even think about it anymore. Like, you just take it all for granted, don't you? Having to explain that to
and it's so funny because, like, the panel as well, all of it seemed like new information to them as they were hearing it. Like, everyone was like, oh, okay.
They were like, oh, yeah. They're literally, so bisexuality, that's a thing now too? All these new things I'm learning, Then Ikuo tells Kazuto once again in private that he's still into him. And I'm like, seriously? Kazuto needs a bodyguard at this point. Like, back off. If I was Kazuto and someone was like, can we just go have a little chit chat on the couch? I'd be like, do you know what? I'm busy. Nah. Fuck. And then fucking Ryota gives it another go as well. And this is so his style. He waits for someone else to do it. And then he's like, oh, I didn't realize we were allowed to do that. Oh, can I have one as well? It's like,
just have an original thought.
The least attractive way. Have an original thought. Exactly. An original thought would be as well to maybe just leave the poor man alone. But anyway, I can't with Ryota. So he grabs him. And then Kazuto tells him it's not mutual, the feelings that Ryota has for him, but in like a nice way, but it's firmer than previously. So I'm like, good, we're getting there with the boundaries.
We
nice
think,
to see someone
we
spell
think
it
we're
out.
Getting there, but it's not really going in. It's like he's just hearing like ocean noises or something. Yeah, literally, like as he's speaking to him. And he was like, and he probably walked away going, that was a great conversation. And it was not. It was the opposite.
Yes. He's walked away going, oh, I can't wait to marry that man. Oh. Very that. And then of course Ryota launches into a creepy speech about, he's like, Kazuto, when you smile, I'm there waiting for it. And when you laugh, I'm noticing your laughter, and it brightens my whole day. And I'm like, this is a serial killer.
I was literally going to say, like, pages from a serial killer's notebook. Like, it's really that energy.
He literally was just telling him about how he stalks him around the house.
Where are the bodies? Like, it's just, skin crawl.
Where are the bodies? Then they get a mail about some dates. We haven't had a date for a while, and it's the final dates. So they're like, guys, now or never, make your move. And they have to write down who they want to go on the date with as before. And again, it's just mutual matches that get to go on the dates. But I think because it was the final one this time, they were a little bit more strategic with who they picked.
Yeah. And I feel like finally Ryota kind of laid down a bit and went, okay, well, this is the only time he's turned on during the show and said, who's been paying attention to me? Oh, okay. I'll just so I can at least go on a date. Kensai. So
yeah, they're writing down their names, and then the theme song blasts. It's like, we used to break it together, and I'm just at home like, yes,
it's such a track.
Bitch. I'm like, every time it's such a tune. Every time it comes on, I like leap off the couch and start jamming around.
I don't like. I was watching it with Mitch towards the end, actually, and he's a very big skip intro person, and I'm like, please, I just like want to listen.
No,
it's great.
Not
it's
this one. I mean, I'm normally skip intro as well, but not.
No, only I don't skip intro on
Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I'm so quick for the remote during House of Dragon, but I listened to.
that intro goes for 45 minutes. It's like
it's literally the boyfriend and like White Lotus season 2. I'll like listen to the theme.
So the pairs are Shun and Dai. We're back, baby.
Mm-hmm.
We're back on. Kazuto and Ellen, and I legitimately cheered at this point. I was like, yes. And there's a third pair. Ooh. Did you guess who it was going to be?
Yes. Well, when I was actually shocked when they said there was 3. I was just like, what's happened here? And I thought there was going to be an absolute wild card with like Taihon finally like finding someone. I was like, no. And then nothing eventuated from that.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw Gensai's name come up, I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. Like, finally.
Yeah, so it's Ryota and Gensai. Very cute. But everyone is shocked in the house. They're like, oh my God. And I feel like, yeah, Ryota is a piece of work. Like, so now that you've been slightly more firmly let down, you're just going to like jumped against. Like, I really felt bad.
Oh, so did I. I was just like, oh, this is horrible. Like, after he's like finally been like let down by someone else, like, okay, well, I'll go here then. I'm just like, oh God. I wish I actually, yeah.
It felt very frustrating. The panel are like, yay, I can't wait to see Shun and Dai argue on their date. And I'm like, T. But first we get Alan and Kazuto's date. Again, they just sort of give them an apartment. And I was like, okay.
I felt so sorry for Gensei and Ryota, who literally had to end up going back to the house. And I was just like, that's cruel. I was like, the other two get to like actually go away. It was like the producers were like, oh, you guys,
they did
go up anywhere. Like, you can just go back to the house. This is not important to us.
They did glass blowing first. Then they went to a cafe, which I'm like, that's just what they want after serving coffee all day. And then to the apartment, yeah. But they give Alan and Kazuto an apartment. I'm like, they really want them to fuck, I think, but not to be. They're chatting, but it's friend zone at this point. As is Gensei and Ryota. Like, it's really, you're watching them and you're like, these are just people that are vaguely interested in each other, but there's no connection.
Nothing there. I did enjoy Kazuto running into the door, though. That really tickled me.
That's right. That was very cute. So it's like all of their eggs are in one basket now, and it's Dai and Shun are the only chance at this show having a relationship. And they finally pash.
This is like such low stakes drama, but I was like shocked and like gasped when it finally happened. And also, of all, like out of the two of them, Shun was like the one that actually initiated like the kiss in the end. They were like they were kind of tiptoeing around it. And he finally had the balls to kind of like grab his face.
Well, of course, because Well, of course, it was always had to be Shun because he's fully the dom in the most toxic way. Yeah, I was, because Adam didn't watch this show, but I was watching this episode and he like came home from work or something and saw my reaction to them kissing. And he was like, what? Like, who cares? They're just kissing. I'm like, no. You don't understand.
Massive.
This is huge. This is changing
it's
the world.
Wild because like my brain is like
so
it's basically like, I don't know, reformatted now because like I'm watching this show and that was like a huge thing, but like you watch like an episode of Love Island and they're like hooking up like episode 1 and that's like not shocking anymore, but for some reason this show that was like the biggest thing that could possibly happen.
They come back from the final dates and I actually thought this was really funny when Shun like tells the group that him and Dai fucked.
That was good.
And they're all like, what? And he's like, haha, just kidding. That was very funny. They did pash though, and we get, of course, a million flashbacks of that. Dai is very embarrassed by this, but it's cute.
Do you think
if poor Gensei,
if someone did fuck on the show, would we see it? Or is the boyfriend like PG level that we would?
Absolutely
No,
not.
okay. I was wondering like, because it feels like they would put like, it's like the show wanted them to, but we may have never seen it. Like if it did happen, but like they would talk about it. But I'm like, is it just because all these people was not horny enough that we didn't get it? That if it did happen, Would we see like undercover like bed shots? I'm just like, is it that show? I don't know.
I would love full penetration, like hardcore anal, and then it cuts to the panel, and they're just like, oh, and then Durian's like, so this is anal sex. The penis goes inside of the anus, and they're all like, they're like listening, like taking notes. That would be yes.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Oh my God, the boyfriend uncut.
Oh, love.
And they put Gretel on the panel, and she's there with a glass of wine.
Her return to TV would be amazing.
Back to the green room, quiet as a mouse.
I miss her disgust doing uncut. Like that was just like just her tone. Like it was also beneath her. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Oh God. Taehyun is still thinking about coming out. This episode is like the penultimate episode, and it's deep. We've got Gensei having very deep thoughts about where to from here. He's not having a great time on the show, and he confides in Taehyun a bit. Taehyun's worried about coming out. Like everyone's like not in a good place, and it's not very fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. This episode I was a bit like, ooh, yeah. Some go-karting. Can they go rock climbing or something? I don't know. Give them a break.
But see, I like weirdly because nothing was nothing was happening, but because there hadn't been much, I actually enjoyed that there was like tension and actual like emotions from these people. I'm like, oh, and it's one of those things like they've reached that point now where they've been living together for like a month or something, and they are actually getting on each other's nerves, and it's like, they're no longer tiptoeing around stuff. So I was like, oh, this is good. I was like, put them in there for another month. I just want to see them like actually start fighting.
True. Terrace house style. Well, they do fight, and this time it's over a t-shirt. This is when he's like, oh my God, you wore my t-shirt. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, yeah.
Wasn't the drama he wasn't wearing the t-shirt? Like he was like, he gave him a t-shirt and he didn't wear it, but then he was comparing it to his ex who used to wear his t-shirt. I'm like, why do you want to replicate something that his past relationships don't sound good either? It seems like a point of like trauma for him. So what, you want to like replicate that with Dai? Like none of this makes sense. And just further like put another like checklist of why the fuck like Shun annoys me on this show. I'm just like, God, you are painful, and I don't know what Dai sees in you.
It was, girl, so confusing. Sometimes I was like, fucking like, the t-shirt of it all was not here for that. Ikuo is like, Dai, it is cringe watching you guys. And I was like,
correct.
Thank you, Producer's Plant. I agree. And he confronts Shun as well, and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you silly bitch? And the group also... So this is when Ikuo puts his foot in it. He kind of crosses a line. And the way they turned on him, I was like, are you guys fucking serious? Like, he's calling out... I was very on Ikuo's side with this. I thought he was calling out bad behavior. And then that became the bad behavior? Yeah. Is that
but also the thing is, like, I respected him for what he was doing. It's like he's saying, and also like he's the like probably the youngest one in the house, I think, but like he had the thought to actually go, we're all living in a house together. Your two like tension is not making this place livable. Can you address it just so we can keep moving? Yeah. Also, knowing what we know, he was also kind of doing it to be like, well, maybe have a fight again, and then you'll break up, and then I can like get in with Dai. But he's correct. Like, you guys stop fucking around, stop making it so uncomfortable for us living here, and sort it out. So respect to that. And he shouldn't have got the flack he got.
Yeah, respect for that. He got flack. I think they just thought, he just disrupted the status quo, and they weren't cool with that. And Dai is very embarrassed about it all. And Dai like goes off to bed and like hides. And Ikuo does feel bad. He's putting his foot in it a bit. But I don't know, I think the intentions were pure, or potentially. It's awkward, to say the least. Alan always has a good read on the sitch, and he kind of helps diffuse it a bit by talking to Dai, who tells him that he's pretty scared. And I'm like, you should be. Shun is scary. Run away now, please. The T-shirt thing comes up again, but they sort it. And I'm like, oh, my God. And then in the reunion, we learn about the sashimi incident.
It's so weird because they were kind of in the reunion talking about the fight they had over the sashimi. They almost seem like proud that they're fighting with each other. I'm like, this is not healthy.
Totally. It's their brand. Imagine hanging out with
I don't want to, Sam. I don't want.
And then
I would have hung out with Dai on his own when he first started the show, but like him and Shun together.
Same.
No.
I'd trade nudes. Yeah.
You were in his phone, weren't you, Sam?
Dai's. They were literally just looking at my
that's
nudes.
what when Shun dropped the phone, he was seeing you.
I dropped a pin at the green room and I just sent all the boys my nudes. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, look, Shun is spiraling and this bit I'm like, what the fuck? So Shun's like, what if this happens again? And Dai's like, I won't ever let this happen again. And I'm like, spoiler alert, it's going to.
It will happen weekly.
Daily.
Yes, daily.
Yeah, like, honestly, it's going to happen a lot. Oh, and then this is where Gensei gets deep and then says, look, he talks to Ryota. He's like, look, I've really enjoyed my time here, but see ya.
Sad. Because it should have been the other way around. But I think it was the right time to leave. There was nothing, he wasn't going to get anything more from that house.
Yeah.
A few of them probably could have
forced, I think.
Yeah, a few of them probably could have gone. But yes, it made sense for him at that time.
Yeah. But then I was devastated, like we said, that we didn't get to see Gensei's finale look. Yes. Like, robbed of that. Please post us what you were going to wear.
Yeah, like the eliminated drag queens. Like, this is my challenge look if I was still on the show.
Yeah. They were like, I was going to wear this look. Ryota is sad about it, but in a robotic way. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, it's like he didn't take... he like really didn't react in any way. Like, I was just like, give him something. Like, just anything. And it was just like talking to a wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it's time for another shift. So Ikuo picks Dai for a shift, and he wants to address what happened yesterday and apologize, which I thought was nice. But I'm also like, you don't really have that much to apologize about, but it's sweet. He tells Dai, he's like, everyone thinks that I'm into Kazuto, but I'm actually into you. And I'm like, no, you're not. Shut up. You're not into anyone.
It was a good little...
You're a paid actor.
It was a good cliffhanger, though. I was kind of like, I was just like...
It was good.
And it was also just because, like, Shun's been so annoying that I was like, there's... Like, I knew that Dai was just going to stick with Shun because he, like, you can... Like, the way he's talked about Shun the entire show, like, of course he's going to just, like, go into this hellhole of a relationship. But then I was kind of like, just as a glint of hope there. I'm like, fuck it up. Like, let's do it.
Maybe. Totally. Last chance. And look, it was the perfect penultimate episode cliffhanger because you're right. You're like, who's he going to pick? But we all kind of know that it's destined for, grossness. So Dai was, he was shook, but happy, but confused. The panel are like, you can't write this shit. Give us an Emmy. And the finale episode I thought was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it is an odd show that, like, I guess the format's a bit loose where it's not like it's weird. It's almost like they tried to give it was like a mix of like Below Deck and like Married at First Sight. Like, it was like, like it was them kind of sending them off one by one. Like,
the bento made it Below Deck.
Yeah, and it was
it was like a beach
picnic.
picnic.
And it was also just like, even like the final scene when, like, it was like the least important person like left first, and they kind of kept like the main stars for the end, and then they had like essentially like a commitment ceremony. It was odd. It was like a very odd way to kind of wrap it up. But how do you?
Yeah. It was. I mean, look, it was still good. So we got the bento moment, which was probably the best part of the finale because I was dying at that. And the latte art bit, they like flash back to them like making lattes in the house. I'm like, oh my god,
it's like
the
photo was
photo,
very like cuck energy, like giving the like box across because it was just kind of like
bitch.
You two enjoy. I'll sit here like watch fondly. I'm like, okay.
I'll just be making you sandwiches. Don't you worry.
I would have thrown it out as soon as I got the cup. I was like, oh no, there's something wrong in here.
Totally. Oh god. Yeah, so they wrap it up. They all get dolled up and they go out for a night on the town. They've popped some champagne in a limo. It's all very cute. They have a fancy meal and they share tearful goodbyes and they talk about everything they've learned, and it's just so wholesome. I can't even deal with myself.
Who's Luke was your favorite out of the boys?
And then I thought Ryota looked good, but he's a model. So, like, I don't think he's an attractive human, but he's got some good clothes. I'll give you that, girl.
I'll no comment.
Who did you think?
I like my boy Taehyun and Alan. I thought looked cute in his little bow tie as well.
They looked hot. Yeah, Taehyun was like popping out of that.
He knows how to wear a
jacket, and the reunion as well. Yeah, and the reunion, the panelists were
look
like,
at his arms.
You can see those muscles under the thing. And then they make them leave one by one, which I thought was cute. But we do get gaslit by production here, though, into thinking that two couples leave hand in hand. Yeah. And I was like, no, sorry, that second one was not real. Like, Alan and Kazuto is who I'm talking about. Like,
Also, sorry, just very quickly on Ryota coming in last minute asking for Kazuto to leave with him. Unhinged behavior. That was just like this large ditch effort. But I was also like, you can't read. You haven't understood what's gone on this entire show, and you're like making this like moment. I'm like, no, doll, this is unwell behavior.
Doll, no. Yeah, seek help, please. Yeah, and that's this bloody show. The reunion was cute. A few key moments I liked in the reunion were the shout out to viewers in Melbourne that we had at the start. See that. They were like, there's people watching this show in Melbourne. I was like,
it's Sam.
I was like, I felt seen. It's literally just me, but that was good. I enjoyed the. I'm glad Yusak was there, and I liked his drawing that he did of the panel. That was very cute.
I loved the panel's excitement at the boys. Like when they all came in at the start, and they were like screaming, and they were like, "Oh my god,
it's like a boy band!" Yeah.
That was very cute.
Yeah. That was very cute. Watching them fangirl. They talk about the chicken incident. Taehyun tells us that he came out, and it was all good. Yeah, we learn about the tragic relationship between Dai and Shun, which I cannot wait to implode. But yeah, now they're just doing a lot of like magazine editorial photo shoots and stuff, and it's
the life
kind of painful. The life of an influencer. And that's this show. Do you think they'll bring it back?
Yes. And so what the question I wanted to ask with Boyfriend season 2, I like assume like whole new cast, but do you think anyone deserves like a round 2 in there, like to go in again and to help like try and find love? Or do you think like just clean slate?
Yeah. Give Taehyun justice for Taehyun. I think he deserves a spot to try again, because I think he was the biggest like loser in terms of like the show gave him nothing, and I think he contributed a lot, so I think they owe it to him to do it again. I'd like it to be somewhere else. Do it in Hawaii or something, and like give them a resort. Don't make them work. Or maybe like a lemonade stand.
Yeah. I didn't mind the shifts. I don't know why I was so invested. But having said that, I did get over them like choosing the people after a while. I was just like, I don't care anymore.
the inconsistency of how much they made as well. Like some weeks it was like 20 cents, and then some shifts it was like $400.
I was so invested seeing that receipt at the end of each shift. I was just like, great. I was like, great day, guys. Like, well done. Like, it was just,
Cha-ching.
That was really exciting. Actually, they need to keep it because that was a real highlight for me. Just seeing that
All
receipt.
right, keep that. You've convinced me. Keep it. We need the receipt. But yeah, I think switch locations, do it like international. Yeah, chuck in some firecracker people. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. I hope it comes back.
It was good. I was lovely and lovely drop strategy. Loved 2 episodes a week. I was like exactly how I liked it paced out.
Oh, yes. Good drops.
And nice, clean 10 episodes. Lovely length. Love a half an hour show. Beautiful.
Thanks so much, Dan, for joining me today.
Lovely to chat about our lovely boyfriends.
Our lovely boyfriends. Yeah. Where can our listeners find you online?
You can find me at Gasbagging on TikTok and Instagram. If you like a little housewife meme.
Gorgy. And now, are you watching F-Boy Island?
No. Okay. So can you try and sell me on it? Because I watched like a bit of the first season and I kind of like dipped out quite quickly. But
sure.
Give me the elevator pitch.
Go. Well, I mean, I don't really have one. I'm just enjoying it because I love watching lads do like bromance shit. So there's that, plus just, I don't know, I enjoy Abby Chatfield and her silly antics. It's just a good fun show. And it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I enjoy. It's the only dating style show I can handle because the rest of them are just like, so whatever.
Yeah, see, I'm not a huge dating. Well, this is why a boyfriend is a great
but
format.
it's not a dating show. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a bachelor girly or anything like that.
Well, I'd love to. I think you should definitely watch the first episode because it was very good. Mainly for the quote, I love David Bowie in the Labyrinth and lick an ass.
Oh,
that was a key line.
Okay, I think you've sold me with that. I'll give F1 a go.
Report back with me later on in the season.
Great. And I don't know if that's attached to a male or female, so I'm happy to find out.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Farewell.
Thank you for listening to The Cringe is Real with me, Sam Cremon. If you would like to support the show, rate, review, share, and tell your friends about it. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are in the show notes.